Good evening. The February 8th, 2023 council meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Vieira?
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, and Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Madam Clerk?
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. And tonight we have a special proclamation. We are happy to be presenting a special proclamation to Marcy Ansell and the Broadway Loan Company. Marcy, will you please come forward?
Good evening, everyone. So tonight we'd like to recognize a local business here in Long Branch that's celebrating 100 years of serving the community, and congratulations to Broadway Loan Company. Marcy Ansell is here with us, took over the business from her father, Gene Moss, who is a highly respected resident of Long Branch. The Moss Mile, if you walk the boardwalk, is named after Gene. For decades, he helped a large number of people get through very difficult times. The Broadway Loan Company gained a nationwide reputation for its upstanding business practices and real concern for its customers. I've personally known Marcy for many years. She's not only continued her father's legacy, she's expanded the company's services, and like her dad, contributes a lot to our community. As many businesses have come and gone over the years in Long Branch, the Broadway Loan Company has remained an important part of our community since 1923. We congratulate Marcy Ansell, and the council president will read a proclamation that we have for her tonight. Thank you, Marcy.
Whereas in 1923, the Broadway Loan Company opened at 208 Broadway in order to provide financial services to the Long Branch community. And whereas Gene Moss purchased the Broadway Loan Company in the mid-1940s. And whereas he upheld honorable and transparent business practices of the pawnbroker profession, which dates back to the 15th century, and became well respected for his integrity and community involvement. And whereas Gene Moss turned the Broadway Loan Company over to his daughter, Marcy Moss Ansell, whose business partner is Joe Carl, and whereas together they have expanded the services provided to the community beyond the role of pawnbrokers to include check cashing, providing money orders and transfers, buying, selling, and repairing estate jewelry, as well as watches, taking passport photos, and providing notary services. And whereas Broadway Loan Company prides itself in its excellent standing with all the strict laws and licenses in the state of New Jersey and the State Department of Banking and Insurance. And whereas the Broadway Loan Company has been active of service to Long Branch in a variety of ways throughout their dedicated presence in the community for an impressive 100 years. Now therefore, the Mayor and City Council of the City of Long Branch hereby proclaim our heartfelt congratulations to Marcy Moss Ansell, Joe Carl, and the Broadway Loan Company upon their 100th anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. A reading and approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of January 25th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Consideration of ordinance, public hearing and final consideration. An ordinance rescinding certain restricted parking on Willow Avenue. This ordinance was introduced on January 25th, 2023, and authorizes the removal of restricted parking sign in front of 407 Willow Avenue. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Clearly for the record, you will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
On this ordinance?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Girardi, 309 Highland Avenue, and I'm asking for consideration of putting up a stop sign with the LEDs.
Sir, that's what I tried to get your attention. This is only on this specific ordinance. There's a public
I'm sorry.
participation later.
I'm
It's okay.
sorry.
No, it's quite all right.
Just be a couple minutes.
Yeah, it'll be a couple of minutes.
Okay, I need a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance number 1-23, entitled An Ordinance Rescinding Certain Restricted Parking on Willow Avenue. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Ordinance is for introduction. This is the first reading of ordinance 2-23, entitled An Ordinance Designating Parking Prohibited at All Times North and South Sides of Stokes Place. This ordinance prohibits parking on both sides of Stokes Place, the entire length from 3rd Avenue to Memorial Parkway. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for February 22nd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the first reading of ordinance 03-23, entitled An Ordinance Rescinding Certain Restricted Parking on Franklin Avenue. This ordinance rescinds parking restrictions in front of 112 Franklin Avenue. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for February 22nd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. Public participation for resolutions and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If there is anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Good evening. Robert Girardi, 309 Highland Avenue. And again, there's asking to request for to take a look at putting up a stop sign with the LEDs at the intersection of Van Court and Highland. I was just there 2.5 weeks ago. There was a really bad accident. 2.5 weeks ago, 2.5 years ago, a car almost hit my house. Just something for you to consider putting up there. It seems weird that accidents happen there, but it does. And the second thing is the basketball court at Van Court is in need of repair. You could take a look in repairing that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is
Thank you.
there anyone else?
Requesting 1-minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Tonight again, we're concentrating on more reasons as to why that SPCA contract should have never been entered into. On November 3rd, 2021, the domesticated bison incident occurred, and it's not going away. In fact, the investigation is now much larger, with the appropriate state and federal agencies involved. The bison's name was referred to as Bicentennial. A storm wrecked a portion of the fence at the Bison Sanctuary in Marlboro. The bison wandered to green grass for feeding not too far away. Did not wander far. The bison was not an endangerment to anyone or anything at that time. The owner's handler did not want the bison darted with a tranquilizer. This photo was taken shortly after the bison was darted with tranquilizers. The bison, after being darted at least 2 times, ran back to its sanctuary on its own, where it collapsed. Pictured in the photo, Scott Crawford of the SPCA and his partner, unlicensed, operate a dart gun. Most every standard operating procedure for the capture, handling, and release of a domesticated American bison, and I emphasize the word domesticated, most every SOP was violated. As viewers view this photo tonight on the watchdogs, the darts in the bison were to be promptly removed from the bison at the onset of handling. The darts are visible. The tranquilized bison must be positioned with the head elevated so breathing is not compromised. The head is not elevated. The eyes of the bison were to be lubricated with ointment and covered with a blindfold. This was not done. Sponge-like plugs were to be put into the ears to stabilize the bison. That was not done. But most importantly, the bison was supposed to be monitored for vitals at 10 to 20-minute intervals while tranquilized with the presence of a reverse tranquilizer. The bison was left unmonitored for hours. There are more violations. Again, referencing the eyes of the bison. While Scott Crawford and his partner of the SPCA are showboating the tranquilized felled bison, the eyes of this bison are already symptomatic of over-tranquilizing and dying. MCSPCA stated at the time for the news media with their showboating, quote, "And when the great horned fluffernutter wakes up, he'll be home sweet home," end quote. The SPCA, upon returning hours later to where the bison fell on its home sanctuary, the bison, referred to as Bicentennial, was found dead.
1-minute warning.
The names of John Pallone and SPCA's Ross Licitra appear on the SPCA contract. The question becomes, what was the quid pro quo between Pallone and Licitra that brought about a contract on SPCA's poor past performance and brings Scott Crawford into Long Branch, endangering animals and people? This council is now notified you have 34 days left of the 60-day opt-out, when we fully expect Digby Nagel to be restored as animal control officer. These photos again tonight on social media over the next 48 hours. Junk government.
Once again, Council, just to correct Mr. Lepore again, I guess I do this I'm going to do this every week for the next 34 days. There's not a time clock running on this contract. It just has a 60-day termination provision in it. So if in the event that the city decides that they want to terminate it, they would have to give 60 days notice. So there's no clock running. I'm sure 14 days from now, I'll have to say the same thing to Mr. Lepore when there's only 20 days. So, but I just want council and the public to understand, because if somebody's anticipating that this contract is going away in 34 days, it's not.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion to close the public participation portion of this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will now ask Madam Clerk if there were any changes to the list of resolutions.
No changes have been made.
Thank you. We can take the listed resolutions as a consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. I need a motion to appoint the following members of the Long Branch Fire Department: Daniel M. Schmidt and John Jasko. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. At this time, it's miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Dangler?
Yes. The last a few weeks, we've had a couple deaths in families here in Long Branch, the Lambert family and the Bennett family, who just happen to be related as well. So I would just ask that we pray for the families, as they were the matriarchs of their family, and just pray for their strength and for them to move on now that the actual funeral is over. This is when it gets hard for families. So just ask for their prayer and continue to be safe through this confusing winter that we're having. But those of us who shovel snow are not complaining. God bless you all.
Thank you. Councilman Viera?
Yes, good evening, thanks. Just a big cheers up to Marcy on Broadway Loans. 100 years is very impressive, and we need business like that, and thanks for coming out tonight, and good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Vogt?
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to do 2 shout-outs tonight. One is to Director Broughton, and the other one is to Sergeant Michael Decker, for your dedication to all of the work that the HERES Committee is doing. It is the support that you give that committee, and your insights, your thoughts, your caring, your dedication, it's just magnificent. So on behalf of the whole steering committee and all of our members, I just wanted to thank you and Sergeant Decker for all that you do. And thank you, everyone, for coming, and we will see you in 2 weeks again, we hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Selly?
Good evening, everybody. I would like to personally thank Marcy Ansell for coming, and for the Broadway loan for 100 years in the city. We're very proud of her. And also for all of you who have sweethearts, and those that don't. Don't forget Valentine's Day next Tuesday, the 14th of February. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pallone?
Thanks, Council President. I just had a couple of, mention a few events and some things that are happening around town. The first is that the Arts and Cultural Center currently has an art exhibit called Celebrating Black History Through Art. We have almost a dozen local and regional artists on display. And on February 15th, which is next Wednesday from 6 to 8 o'clock, we're going to have a reception, as we do with all the exhibits, with free admission, poets, singers, food, and live entertainment. Check out our website for more information. But again, that's next Wednesday evening between 6 and 8. We're currently starting renovations on our new Firehouse Museum located on the corner of Atlantic Avenue and Ocean Avenue. That's the old Oliver Byron Firehouse, and we're looking forward to opening this museum later this year in 2023. We have new recreation programs, including a winter soccer clinic, so please call the Recreation Department for more information. And finally, I guess it was last week, we had COVID and flu vaccines, and we're going to have them again. Will be available on February 25th. What is that, a week from this Saturday?
Yes.
A week from this Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bucky James Community Center. Again, these are free COVID and flu vaccines. Feel free to call the Health Department for more information. Well, you can just call 222-7000 and ask for the Health Department. Thank you all for being here this evening, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. And I too would like to thank everyone for being here this evening, and also like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day, and be safe. Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Or all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. All righty.
Can I text George and tell him